Brent Venables got an extension when he wasn't going anywhere. Okay. Well, let me go ahead and address this. And I think I'm just going to do this for a segment right quick before we get back to chat. Kirby Smart got an extension before he won a national championship at Georgia. Okay. Kirby Smart was basically going to get an extension from making the Liberty Bowl in 2016. Okay. Oklahoma goes 6-7 in Brent Venables' first year because he thought perhaps Dabo knows something. So I'm going to try to build it here and use what I have to try to go win football games. And what did he learn? He learned that he did not have the beef and he did not have the Jimmies and the Joes, and he flipped script and went to the portal and recruited his behind off. Brought in a bunch of transfers, trying to get Oklahoma back on a good foot, and they win 10 games in the regular season. You have an outstanding defense, and I think one of the best secondaries in football this year. If your defensive line has David Stone on it, because David Stone has somehow become Gerald McCoy, you're going to be good. And nobody knows defense like Brent Venables knows defense. And he's hired a mini-me in Zach Galli, who grew up under him as a coach. Was defense coordinator at Jacksonville State. All they did was win 9 games. That dude is a comer. Then you have Seth Luttrell, who knows what it means to play OU football, because that's what he did, who had Mason Fine as his starting quarterback at UNT. And if you need to know who Mason Fine is, this ain't the show for you. You need to go look that up and then come back, and we'll talk some more. Then Brent Venables not only says, I want to be at Oklahoma. He knows Oklahoma's heading to the SEC, and he says, no, we want to be there. We are running to the SEC. We are not running away from anything. And that's where I've been telling people it's been difficult for me to take another line here, because at once I'm going, Oklahoma is going to have the appropriate amount of respect and humility for the teams they're going to play. Georgia, Alabama, Texas. We know about Texas. Beat them. Team that many people think is going to play in the conference championship this year. Oklahoma beat them. You know that Auburn is going to be tough. You know LSU is LSU. You go down the line. Everybody but Vanderbilt. Everybody's going to get that same dose. But somewhere, SEC fans decided that Oklahoma is Central Florida. Decided that Oklahoma is Tulane. Decided that Oklahoma is Wazoo. Mizzou. No, son. You don't have me locked in here. You are locked in here with me. Oklahoma is a blue blood. Winning is the DNA. One losing season in 24 years, and y'all cracking jokes? Oklahoma ain't won no national championship since 2000. How many national championship games have you played in? How many conference championships has your program won? How many Sugar Bowls you beat over Nick Saban, Gus Malzahn, Florida, Dan Mullen? How many Heisman finalists you got? How many Heisman trophies you got? You're not just getting an Oklahoma program that found a decent year like Cincinnati or Central Florida. You're getting an Oklahoma that has been built on winning, because winning is what sustains us here. We don't have an Atlanta Falcons. We don't have no Jacksonville Jaguars, no Miami Dolphins. We don't have no New Orleans Saints, no Houston Texans, no Dallas Cowboys. We ain't got none of that. The pro team is in Norman, son. And because the pro team is in Norman, yeah, you're going to give that man an extension because you want everybody to know this is what you got to deal with for the foreseeable future. You want everybody to know this is who we are. This is what we stand for. Does your head coach run stadium stairs in the morning? Does your head coach have a vein popping out of his neck everywhere he goes? Does your head coach wake up at a 7 for most people, but a 2 for himself? Does your head coach get his very own get back coach because he be in it that much? Does your head coach eat, sleep, and breathe the sport? That's the signal. It ain't about ensuring that that man is comfortable, though I'm not mad about that. It's about letting you know this is what you got to deal with. This is what's coming to you. And you know what? Even the simulations don't like it. Like, I got an email from Team Rankings, which I think does a great job in their analysis. They give predictions and whatnot, and they adjust them based on results. It's a really good model that they use. And most of the time, they hit more than they miss. So They have Oklahoma finishing 8-4, which is where most SEC fans in any Oklahoma think that OU will be 4-4 in the SEC. 6 ranked opponents for Oklahoma. They got 99% against Temple, 99% chance of winning, 88% against Houston, 82% against Tulane, 54% against Tennessee, 59% against Auburn, 35% against Texas, 79% against South Carolina, 37% against Ole Miss, 100% Maine, 46% Missouri, 42% Alabama, 39% LSU. So basically, if you're over 50%, you get the win. You're under 50%, you get the loss. These are predictions. I think what you have just said is, okay, all we got to do is win those games. You got 35% against Texas. I'll take that. I'll take that every day of the week. That has nothing to do with the human element and everything to do with we think that their roster or their continuity or what have you is better. And I'm going, yeah, they thought that last year too. I mean, it was 49-0. Remember that? And how did it end the very next year with a better program at Texas? Okay. Did we learn nothing from Georgia Tech, Florida State today? Would be my next point. Georgia Tech wasn't supposed to win that football game. Not supposed to see no top 10 upsets in week 0. But now you're factoring in that it's Oklahoma. And the thing that I think is really going to upset me about this in the long run is that if Oklahoma gets off to a don't mind Oklahoma start, if Oklahoma is 1 or 2 losses going into their final game of the regular season against LSU, people are going to say, well, we expected that. That's Oklahoma. And I'll be like, nah, I want you. I want you, son. Nope. I want you to tell me you were wrong and why you were wrong. Okay? I want you to tell me about this bias that you got against a new program into your conference. Because it's not as if Oklahoma is arriving here being Billy Big Balls. That's not what's going on. What Oklahoma is doing is what Oklahoma has always done, expecting to win. Expecting to win. And most of the time, we're right. See what else you got in here. Let's see.